What's good, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another new, fresh off the presses episode of the podcast that you know as the IE Wrestling Show. I'm your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again, live right here on this Wednesday morning. If you're on the West Coast, if you're here in the Central Coast, it is the afternoon, it is noon, it is 12 noon. And if you're on the East Coast, you are listening to me live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am the undisputed heavyweight champion of IE Sports Radio, and I'm back at it again with your freshest takes on the world of professional wrestling that only your boy can do. What's good, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, guys, for being here live with me. We are live right now. We are streaming live. That's what I'm talking about on YouTube and on the official IE Sports Radio X page. We are streaming live, guys, and you can follow all the IE Sports Radio platforms on all social media platforms we have listed right here for you. Boom. X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at IE Sports Radio. You can follow me, the host of the IE Wrestling Show on the X, right there, right there, at IE Wrestling Show on X and on TikTok. You can also follow me right now. I'm streaming live for the first time on my personal Facebook page under my government name, Martin Sandoval. That's my government name, of course. I'm streaming live right now for y'all on Facebook for the first time. See how that works. I hope everybody is watching. Any of my friends and family that are watching live, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And we got a lot to talk about today, guys. But before we get into it, we're going to just throw some more ways you can listen to the great shows of IE Sports Radio. Not only are we streaming live on YouTube and on X, now you can also listen to the podcast. If you missed the live stream, you can listen to the audio version on all of these great platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music / Audible, Castbook, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and GeoSavin. That's right. We are on so many platforms, so you can't miss it. There's no excuse not to miss the IE Wrestling Show and some of our other great IE Sports Radio shows, such great shows such as yesterday's episode of the Yinzer Report. So I got to do a shout out to my boy, the host of the Yinzer Report, Ralph Calise. Ralph in the chat room, can I get a yeet? Of course you can, my brother. Yeet. That's right. We're going to give it yeet. And another shout out to a guy who tuned in last week. I'm so glad he's back here again to listen live to the IE Wrestling Show. Danny, I hope I'm saying your last name right, Mahone. I got to give you a yeet, brother. Yeet. If I said that wrong, I apologize, man. Please correct me in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And please, if you want to learn more about IE Sports Radio and some of our other great shows that we have for you here on IE Sports Radio, please go to the IE Sports Radio's official website, iesportsradio.com. That's iesportsradio.com. You can join for free. And you can interact with all the hosts of the IE Sports Radio's great shows, such as my boy Larry B., the head honcho of IE Sports Radio. He hosts many shows here. He hosts the 3 and Out, the NFL edition, 3 and Out college edition. Also, you can follow another one of our guys that keeps the cogs rolling here on IE Sports Radio, Taryn Rodriguez. He's the host of Set Point and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Of course, another one of my fellow DFWs here in Fort Worth and the DFW area. It's Drewski with the Heart of Texas Sports. You can follow his show. We all have official pages for our IE Sports Radio shows. You can go to my page right here at iesportsradio.com/the IE Wrestling Show. If you're just becoming a fan of my show and you want to check out some of my older episodes, that is where you'll find all of my past episodes and present episodes as well as like a little bio about myself and what got me into professional wrestling, if you're interested in that. And if you want to throw some shekels our way, if you're really, wanting to do your part and you really love what we do here at IE Sports Radio, please check out our IE Sports Radio shop, our merch shop. That's right, iesportsradio.com/shop, where you can find yourself some awesome IE Sports Radio official merch. I know right now we're out of stock on some things such as caps and hoodies, but I'm sure, coming up with the fall and the winter, once this fucking crazy summer gets over with, we will have some of that cool merch for you. Right now, I know we got some women's t-shirts, we got women's tank tops, and we also have these awesome men's. I mean, they're not, I guess they're really unisex. Right here, boom, the official IE Sports Radio logo t-shirt, and you can actually order it in different colors. Of course, I got mine in very nice slimming black. But yes, go peep out the IE Sports Radio shop if you want to support IE Sports Radio. Throw some shekels our way if you love what we do here. Check it out. Go to the IE Sports Radio shop and get yourself an official IE Sports Radio t-shirt. And right now, check it out. That's right. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And you're listening live to the IE Wrestling Show, which is your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling. And we can't do it by ourselves, guys. We cannot do it by ourselves. Of course, we got to have official sponsors that help us keep the lights on. One of those sponsors is, of course, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. Premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, you know, the Macho Man, he loves his beef jerky. If it's not Slim Jim, it's got to be Planet Jerky. Yeah, that's right. Go to planetjerky.net. That's the official website. You'll see it right there scrolling on your screen right now. Check it out, guys. I have had their delicious beef jerky myself, and trust me, it is, muy delicioso. It is so good. The volcanic jalapeno is one of my favorite flavors. I definitely got to order myself another bag. If you follow IE Sports Radio on Instagram, you can actually find the official IE Sports Radio Instagram page. There is an official Planet Jerky Instagram page as well. And I believe, I don't know if they stopped doing that. It's going to be at Planet Jerky on Instagram. But if you order through that link to their website and you mention IE Sports Radio, I think you get yourself a little, I think that's like 10% off or something like that. They give you some sort of, mention us, and they give you like a little gift on our behalf because you heard about them through us. So please do yourself a favor and check out planetjerky.net. Follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky, and check out 100% premium brisket beef jerky. It is delicious. And another one of the sponsors that keeps the lights on for us here, guys, is, of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, which is a nice little beautiful business that is run by Mrs. Larry B. She is one of the hosts of another one of the head honcho Larry B's awesome shows here on IE Sports Radio, the Sports Couple Perspective here on IE Sports Radio. And she has this little awesome side hustle where she sells very fancy, very, very, very nice seals for all your fancy invitation needs. If you got like a quinceañera coming up, if you got a wedding coming up, a really a retirement party, anything like that, something family friendly oriented that you want to give that nice little fancy seal of approval, go to Seal the Deal Wax Seals, where you can actually order them through their, and you can check out what type of seals that you can buy from them on their official Instagram page, Seal the Deal _wax seals, and you can actually order them directly from the IE Sports Radio official website, iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Don't take my word for it, guys. Check out these commercials for our favorite IE Sports Radio sponsors. And when we come back, we'll get into some wrestling news. But for now, let's hear from our sponsors, Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. We'll be right back with you guys here in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at @sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Thanks for that, guys. That was from our official sponsors at iesportsradios.com. You can check out Seal the Deal Wax Seals and check out Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Thanks, guys, for keeping the lights on here for us at IE Sports Radio. So, got a lot to talk about. A lot of wrestling news coming up this weekend. Of course, we're going to talk about here momentarily AEW All in London. All in London. That's going to be live this coming Sunday in London, England, of course. London, England is going to be the home for All In. Once again, last year they were in Wembley Stadium. This year they're doing it again. They're not sold out to capacity yet like they were last year, but, you know, it's been a rough one for AEW. You've heard my criticisms about the company right here on the show. If you've been listening loyally for the last few months, you know my feelings on that. And real quick, I guess I'll mention this here. I don't know if you've heard the news. I know it made local news here in the DFW area, specifically on the local newspaper here in Fort Worth and the Arlington News and Dallas, of course. AEW has struck up a deal with the guy who owns the Texas Rangers. I guess that owns the stadium as well, the Texas Rangers Stadium, Globe Life Field. Their new, really fancy, awesome baseball stadium that they play in. It will be the site of, wow, I got a little tongue-tied there. It will be the site for next year's All In. It's going to take place in July. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head. I think it's July 25th or something like that. I could be wrong. But, yeah, it was announced last week in a little press conference at Globe Life Field, with the mayor of Arlington there in attendance, with Tony Khan, the head of AEW, and Swerve Strickland, the AEW World Champion, was there. Darby Allin was there. Mercedes Moné was there. Some of the the bigger names of AEW were there live in attendance for this momentous announcement. This is going to be the first technically stadium show in AEW's history here in America. Which, I mean, it's bold. I got to say, I got to give them credit. It's very, very bold that they would actually want to, go, no pun intended, all in on having a stadium show in America, when right now their ticket sales here in America are less than stellar. They've been steadily declining over the last 6 to 8 months. You know what I mean? It's been really bad. They've been having 8,000, 10,000 seat arenas, and they can't even get 3,000, 4,000 people inside of those 8 to 10,000 seat arenas. You know what I mean? I know their Arthur Ashe Stadium is one of their big sites for the Grand Slam special that they put on every year for Dynamite. And every year since the first one, it's been steadily declining. And this year it's been no different. It's really bad. I think it's only got set up for 8,000 people when it's an actual old school baseball stadium in the New York City area. So I'm oof, that's going to be rough, and then in Arlington, the Texas Rangers Stadium, I've been there. It's nothing to sneeze at. It's beautiful. It's a new facility. It's nice. It's indoor. The roof retracts. So, if you want to But I mean, they're going to be here in the middle of the summer, so you definitely know that shit's going to be closed because it is hot as hell right now in Texas. If you don't know, trust me. If you've never been here in a Texas summer, y'all don't know what hot is. Okay. Anyway, it's 40. It holds like 40,000 people, just over 40,000 people at Texas Rangers Globe Life Field, and AEW. It's bold. Maybe things will turn around. Who knows? Maybe Tony Khan's got a crystal ball somewhere in his office in Tampa, and he's just, Jacksonville. Excuse me. I almost, I don't want to get raked over the coals for that. Maybe he's got a crystal ball somewhere in Jacksonville. He knows like, oh, things are going to turn around for the better by next year. We'll see. I mean, he's had some success this summer because AEW's had a residency here in Arlington over the last couple months, starting in like early to mid-July. They started doing shows at the eSports Stadium, which is a video game stadium, for video game tournaments and whatnot here in Arlington, which is actually right down the road from Globe Life Field. So they've had this sort of working relationship with the city of Arlington for a little while now. And I actually just found this out as well, that apparently Tony Khan's analytical company that he runs, on top of everything else, including the Jacksonville Jaguars, Fulham FC, and AEW, that the Texas Rangers are a client of this analytical team or analytical company of Tony Khan. So I guess it seems like a no-brainer that Tony Khan was able to work out some sort of deal to run an event at Globe Life Field. So, I don't know when tickets go on sale. Once I know that, I will announce it here for sure. You'll hear it here first on the IE Wrestling Show when tickets for All In Texas go on sale, and that takes place next year here in the DFW area, right here in the heart of Arlington. And real quick, before we get more into AEW, I know I just kind of went on an AEW little rant there. I just got to give a shout out to my boy, a shout out to the man himself. Say his name and he will appear. Yes, Joe Hendry. That's right. I believe in Joe Hendry. Last night on NXT, Joe Hendry defeated Wesley and Pete Dunne to become the number one contender to Ethan Page's NXT Championship, and will challenge Ethan Page in the main event at NXT No Mercy, which will take place Sunday, September 1st, the day after WWE's Bash in Berlin. And that is awesome to see. I cannot this is a monumental moment in the landscape of professional wrestling right now. For the first time ever, I know we already had this on the women's side, but now we're getting it on the men's. We had it at Battleground when the NXT Women's Champion defended her title, Roxanne Perez, against the current defending TNA Women's Knockout Champion, Jordynne Grace. But this time around, we're going to get it on the men's side. History is going to be made when a TNA contracted wrestler is going to be competing for the NXT Championship. Joe Hendry will challenge Ethan Page for the NXT Championship at No Mercy. It would be a shock to the wrestling world if a TNA wrestler becomes the NXT champion. Can you imagine the buzz, the viral records that would be set if Joe Hendry is to defeat All Ego Ethan Page on Sunday, September 1st? Joe Hendry already has one of the most viral clips in WWE right now, even for the year, probably of all time. I think he's up there with, with CM Punk's return, with Edge's return at the Royal Rumble 2020, The Rock as the final boss. And can you imagine how many hits it'll get on all social media platforms for WWE, NXT, TNA, if one of their biggest stars right now, which is Joe Hendry, he's definitely one of the most viral wrestling sensations out there right now, can win the NXT's top prize, the NXT Championship. I'm all in on Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry can do it. Will it be a right booking decision? Who knows? But we will see. Come Sunday, September 1st, we'll get more into that next week on next week's episode once the card for NXT No Mercy continues to take shape, because right now that is the only confirmed match. Well, no, not the only one. They only have 2 confirmed matches for NXT No Mercy. Jada Parker will challenge Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship at No Mercy, and Joe Hendry challenges All Ego Ethan Page for the NXT Championship on NXT No Mercy. So that's 2 big matches to look forward to, but definitely the Joe Hendry Ethan Page match is definitely the biggest one to look forward to. All right, guys, let's go back. Let's get into AEW All In London. Yes, I put it as the tagline, the final countdown. It's the final countdown. Yes. Yeah, that really horrible 80s hairband Europe. AEW's All In London, the final countdown. I said that because this could be the final countdown to the very last days of the career of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Yes, Bryan Danielson is working currently right now without a contract. His contract, his final contract ever in professional wrestling, which he said was with AEW, has ended already. He's working on a per appearance deal right now because the stipulations of his main event world championship match against Swerve Strickland states that if he wins the championship, he will remain an active wrestler, but his career will come to an end if he cannot defeat Swerve in Wembley. Yo, shout out to, I got some more buddies popping up here in the chat room. Shout out to Marcus Los Great. That's right. Host of Gloves Off. Shout out to Jen B. She's the host of our the Show of the Land show. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And oh man, longtime fan of Ice Sports Radio and Ice Sports Radio Hall of Famer Yu-Gi-Oh is in the chat room. Oh man, what is up, man? I am so glad to see you here. Thank you for tuning in, sir. It's really awesome. He's one of our most loyal listeners. He's always been a loyal fan to Ice Sports Radio. He's always sharing our podcast, sharing our live streams on our social media platforms. He is a very good dude, man. Thank you, sir. I'm really glad that you're here listening live. It's really awesome to see that. Well, let's get into the card, guys. Let's get into the card of AEW All In London. Let's see. It's going to be live, of course. It's going to be Sunday, August 25th. It's going to be live. Wembley Stadium, the United Kingdom, London, England. And these are the matches, the official matches set up for AEW All In London. It's ready. It's really taking shape here. Final participants will be added this coming tonight. Shit, I forget it's Wednesday. Tonight at Dynamite, we'll finalize some of these matches as well as this Saturday night on Collision. It will be right now a mixed tag team match has been announced for the pre-show of All In. It's the buy-in. It gives you a little bit of time to purchase the pay-per-view if you haven't already. It'll be the winning team will choose the stipulation of the match between Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander at the following pay-per-view, which is going to be All Out in Chicago. It'll be Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway taking on Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The AEW Women's World Championship will be decided in a one-on-one match. The winner of the Owen Hart Women's Cup Tournament, Mariah May, will challenge the timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May kind of suckered in Toni Storm, gave her a false sense of security, a false sense of, like this, we're together. You're going to help me protect my championship. But then after Mariah May became the winner of the Women's Owen Hart Tournament, she turned on timeless Toni Storm, making her intentions known. She was coming for that AEW Women's World Championship. And this match is set in stone for All In London. Mariah May taking on Toni Storm in London. Who do I think is going to get the win here? Toni Storm's been a very dominant champion. She's been, the mainstay of the women's division pretty much for quite some time now. It sucks that I feel like she's been overshadowed because Tony Khan is writing that very fat check for Mercedes Moné because, She is the holder of the secondary women's championship, yet she's being shown more prominently than the women's world champion. Mercedes Moné is only the TBS champion. She's the champion of a television channel, of a television network. She's not the world champion, but she's being presented as such, which I feel is a detriment to her, a detriment to Tony, and a detriment to the women's division as a whole. I understand, yes, Mercedes Moné is a name in professional wrestling, yes, but she is fucking insufferable. It's so phony. Her act is just so phony. You know what I mean? Like, she comes across so disingenuous. I understand that these guys are playing characters. These guys and gals are playing characters. They're portraying characters. They're trying to come across, they're trying to tell a story. They're trying to tell a story. Yes, I get that. I understand. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm 37 years old, guys. I know the deal. But with that said, when you come across so disingenuous, it's even hard to suspend disbelief. There's something wrong there. And she needs to go back to promo class because, man, I cannot sit through another fucking stinker of a promo by Mercedes Moné. It's ridiculous. She went from WWE, where she got the best training possibly in the world. She was under the tutelage of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Who could cut a better promo than Dusty Rhodes? Okay? And you're telling me all that training went out the window the minute she went to Japan? She forgot how to fucking talk? She must have been more astute to the Vince McMahon era where the scripted promos were the end-all be-all. You have to say this word for word for word. Don't deviate from the script. You know what I mean? And now she's in AEW where there is no writers, there's no script, just bullet points, blah, 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 blah. Here's a microphone, go out there and do your thing. But she's just so fucking awkward. It's just, ugh. I keep my hand on the remote whenever I see her because I'm ready to just hit that, change the channel. Let's see what else is on. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Speaking of her, I guess I'll talk about her match coming up at All In. Mercedes Moné will defend the AEW TBS Championship against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. That's right. She's been out on the shelf for quite some time, Britt Baker. I think she was dealing with a back injury, a really bad back injury. So, I mean, what else is new? AEW is littered with a lot of guys and girls that are on the shelf right now, but they're the safest place for wrestlers, according to Tony Khan. So just FYI, if you didn't know that, because he says that a million times. It's also where the best wrestle. Don't forget that. That's where everybody says, if Dax Harwood from FTR isn't, doing a rah-rah speech in the ring, or Edge, or Adam Copeland, the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. I don't want to get copyrighted by the WWE now. Let's just get that out there. Anyway. I think Britt Baker definitely deserves to win this title. I think Britt needs it. I don't think Mercedes needs a championship. She is currently the NJPW Strong Women's Champion on top of being the TBS champion. Does she really need it? I feel like if Tony is going to go all in on Mercedes, which he already is, get the TBS title off of her so that she could work a program with whoever the women's world champion will be at the end of this pay-per-view. Because that's obviously where she needs to go. She doesn't need to be the secondary title holder in your company if you're paying this girl fucking $10 million for 3 years. Whatever the ridiculous number is, whether it's true or not, that's the number that was been floating around the internet since she showed up on Dynamite. But get the belt off of her so that she can work a program with whoever the women's world champion is so you can actually get your money's worth out of her. You get what I'm saying? The Casino Gauntlet match has been announced. The only confirmed participant for this match right now is Orange Cassidy. He's going to be entrant numero uno, and it will feature a total of 21 wrestlers, who of which will all be announced randomly and surprisingly. You're not supposed to know who the entrants are for this match. I guess it's supposed to be like a big surprise. Then we could very well see the debut of some more former WWE talent, because Tony Khan, he definitely will want to open that checkbook to whoever is no longer under contract to Triple H and the WWE. So I will bet my bottom dollar if we don't see Bobby Lashley in this match, we may see Ricochet, because Ricochet, of course, is no longer under contract with WWE. He hasn't been for the last month or so. And I know that Will Ospreay has been really pushing really hard to have Ricochet come into the company so that they can, work their magic again together in the ring. So I have a feeling if not Bobby Lashley showing up at the Casino Gauntlet, I have a feeling that Ricochet is going to show up as maybe the Joker of the Casino Gauntlet, the Joker's Wild or whatever the fuck they call it, the mystery entrant, whatever. Next match on the card, last chance match for the FTW Championship. For those who don't know what that means, it's the Fuck the World Championship. Yes, I just dropped an F-bomb. Mm-hmm. The last chance for the FTW Championship. If Hook loses, he can never challenge for the FTW Championship for as long as Chris Jericho remains champion. Yes, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, with Big Bill and Brian Keith in his corner, defends the FTW title against Hook. Okay. I hope Hook wins. Let's just put it that way. I'm sick of Jericho. I can't stand Jericho. He's a shell of his former self, and he's a fucking douchebag on top of that. So hopefully Hook wins this match. Another set of douchebags are set to defend their championships at All In. 3-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. The Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, defend the AEW Tag Team titles against FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood, and the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Scissor me, daddy ass! Yeah! That's the only thing that's, I guess still popular there. I don't know. The Acclaimed has cooled up. I cannot cover AEW without being so fucking critical about what's going on with their product, man. So, all right. So let's do this here. Okay. So the thing with AEW and the way that Tony Khan books his shows is that he pushes people so hard, right? You get all in on them, no pun intended. Fuck. And they get so popular, they get so over that it gets to a point where Tony Khan just starts losing interest in the way he books them, and it causes this ripple effect where it's just an overall cooling off period for all these guys. And right now, the Acclaimed couldn't be any less hot right now than they used to be. You know what I mean? They used to be one of the most over tag teams on the roster, and now I don't even think they get the same reactions that they used to. They were over, you know what I mean? And now the fans have cooled off on them so bad. And FTR too, I feel like they've cooled off on them. This is going to be, I don't know how the crowd in Wembley is going to take to them, but hopefully they give them a strong reaction. You know what I mean? 4-way London ladder match. I don't understand why they had to add the London in there. Does it make a difference? Do they have different kind of ladders in London? I don't know. I've never been. 4-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship. The Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne defend the AEW World Trios titles against the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, and the wild card winners. The wild card winners will be decided this coming August 24th episode of Collision, and the fourth team who wins that wild card match will be added to that ladder match. Let's see here. Oh, I'm going down the list here. Ugh, this is so dumb. I hope Darby Allin wins this match because this dude is not fucking over. If you look up the definition of no aura, a picture of Jack Perry will be next to the words no aura because he literally has none whatsoever. Jack Perry will defend the AEW TNT Championship against Darby Allin in a coffin match. The only way to win this match is to put your opponent into a coffin. It's basically a casket match, from the WWE days, but it's a coffin and not a casket, which I guess one is smaller than the other. What else is on here? The AEW American Championship. MJF defends the AEW American Championship against the aerial assassin and England's own Will Ospreay. You know, he's going to be super over. They're in London. It's Wembley. It's going to be a majority English crowd. And Will Ospreay is going to be hugely over for this match. Last year, MJF was very over for his championship match. He was in the main event. He was the world champion this time last year. And now he's in one of the undercard matches. Probably one of the higher matches on the card. Definitely not the main event. But I feel like Tony is going to have Will Ospreay go over because it's London and he wants to have that awesome reaction, you know, that Will can get from the live crowd. So I guess Will will probably end up being the one that wins this match. And here we go, guys. Title versus career. I think this is the main event. Yeah, I thought I'm missing another match, but no, that's it. Yeah, so this is the main event, guys. I talked about this earlier. We'll get into it here more. Title versus career match for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland. Yeah, swerve when I drive. Yeah, swerve when I drive. Defends the World Championship against the American Dragon. Yes! Oh, yes! Yes! Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson right now is working without a contract. His contract ended, I think, 2 weeks ago. Bryan Danielson said last year that his time in professional wrestling was coming up. He wants to be a full-time father to his children. He wants to be home. He's had more injuries in his AEW run than he ever had in his entire career. Those are his words, not mine. He said that on a podcast recently. Look it up. It's fact. It's fact. If you've been watching AEW religiously, it's fact that Danielson has been injured more often since he's been there than when he was in the WWE and his independent career prior. Daniel Bryan has been wrestling for a very long time, over 20 years in professional wrestling. He was trained by some of the greats, by Shawn Michaels, by William Regal. He was one of the benchmarks, one of the pillars of Ring of Honor during its birth back in the early 2000s. Him, Christopher Daniels, Low-Key, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Those guys were like the benchmark for independent wrestling at that time. Bryan Danielson was a guy that a lot of people never thought would ever be a mainstream guy, would ever be the WWE's, model of a superstar. But lo and behold, he would show up on the rookie season of the original incarnation of NXT when it was like this really goofy, hard to watch game show back in 2011. No, excuse me, 2002. No, what the hell? 2010. Sorry, 2010. I'm getting my years mixed up. Danielson was a part of the Nexus initially, the group of the NXT rookies that ganged up on John Cena and CM Punk after the final episode of that first season of NXT. Danielson was let go because of the sponsors were upset that he choked ring announcer Justin Roberts with a tie on live television. But WWE knew what they had with him, at least initially. They knew that this guy was a good hand and we need to keep him around. So they had to let him go to appease the sponsors, and that they told him, like, hey, we're going to bring you back at some point, which they did. They brought him back about 2 months later at the main event of SummerSlam that year when Bryan was a part of Team WWE. He's now a babyface. He had a very okay opening, like a few months with the WWE. He won the United States Championship from The Miz. He ended up having a great match at that year's Survivor Series with Dolph Ziggler in a champion versus champion match when Ziggler was IC champion. Daniel Bryan would go on the following year to win Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. Later that year, he would cash it in on the Big Show, defeating him for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this is where the birth of the very, this is where the seeds were planted for the yes movement. This is where it all began. He started coming to the ring with yes, 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 very obnoxiously, and he had AJ Lee by his side, who was his quote unquote girlfriend, on-screen girlfriend, And then he lost to Sheamus at WrestleMania the following year in 18 seconds, which we all thought like, oh, this is just a burial. This is it for his career. It's over. But that was probably the best thing that could have happened in hindsight, because things turned around for Daniel Bryan. He became this overly sympathetic character that the fans just fell in love with. His partnership with Kane and Team Hell No became this thing that it was just so entertaining that fans just gravitated to them. It was so weird to have these two very different wrestlers teaming up together, being successful, super popular. Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane, they ended up becoming World Tag Team Champions together, which led to the following year's SummerSlam, where Daniel Bryan defeated John Cena for the WWE Championship clean. Not many people can say they've beaten John Cena clean. No outside interference, no, funny business, no nut shots or steel chair shots, nothing. He beat him fair and square. And then it became this battle between him and the Authority. Triple H called him a B-plus player. You're not the type of guy that is the face of this company. You're what we call a good hand. You're not the face of the company, Brian. Yada, yada. And his popularity grew to where it could not be ignored by the company anymore, because the plan for WrestleMania was only supposed to be Randy Orton versus Batista one-on-one for the championship. Daniel Bryan was not factored into the WrestleMania 30 main event, but with CM Punk walking out on the company that year after the Rumble and just the overwhelming reaction that Bryan was getting, it was not dissipating. It was not changing. It was growing and growing and growing. It had to be acknowledged. Vince had no other choice but to say, all right, fuck it. Let's give him a belt. And he beat Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista all in one night at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans at the Superdome to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He only successfully defended that title once after that, because Daniel Bryan ended up having to relinquish the title due to a neck injury, which sucks so bad. He would return, win the Intercontinental Championship at the following year's WrestleMania, and then he had to relinquish that title as well due to injury. And then Daniel Bryan had to sadly retire from professional wrestling, earlier than a lot of people assumed he ever would, because it was WWE saying like, hey, all these histories of concussions you had, we can't clear you to wrestle, so you have to retire. Like, basically he had to do it. He was forced into retirement when he didn't want to. Daniel Bryan spent the better part of 2 years trying to get it cleared by any doctor that would see him, going through all these experimental treatments and whatnot, yada, yada. He did all his stuff, became a active pro wrestler once again, had a really great run as a heel, became the planet, the Earth's champion. He had his custom WWE title, which was literally made of like hemp and wood and like bejeweled pebbles or something. I don't know. It was the hippies champion. He was the hippies champion. It was the hippies title. And of course, he was a big part of Kofi Mania. He was the man that Kofi Kingston defeated to become the WWE champion for the first time in his career. I will always remember that moment. And then, Daniel Bryan had a swan song type of a match. He lost to Roman Reigns in a final bout for the Universal Championship, quietly left the WWE, and then showed up in AEW later that year in 2021. And the rest is history. He's been having, great matches with a lot of opponents that he never thought he would ever face if he stayed under contract with Vince and WWE. He's fought Okada. He's fought the winner of the G1 Climax this year. Oh my God, his name escapes me right now. Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, he had a great match with Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr., quick tidbit here, just to go off on a little tangent. He is only the second foreigner to ever win the G1 Climax tournament for New Japan Pro Wrestling, the first being the Best Bout Machine, Kenny Omega. Zack Sabre Jr. being not only the second foreigner, but the first British-born superstar to become the G1 Climax winner. Anyway, so Brian's been having some great matches, created a stable called the Blackpool Combat Club with Moxley, Castagnoli, and Yuta. And now we come to this. He won the Owen Hart tournament for the men, guaranteeing him a world championship match at All In. He is challenging Swerve Strickland for the world championship. And I was having like an argument back and forth, not, I wouldn't say an argument, not where we're like cussing at each other and shit like that, but, an intense discussion with one of my IE Sports Radio affiliates on our message, our messages on X about the way that Swerve has been booked as champion. I feel like Swerve has been booked like an afterthought. He's supposed to be the world champion of your company. And I feel like he's had these kind of like whatever feuds, other things have been overshadowing his title reign until right now, because he is in the midst of possibly Bryan Danielson's final match ever in professional wrestling. Do I feel like the feel-good thing would be to give Bryan the championship at All In? Sure. But if Bryan is serious about retiring, serious about being home with his children, serious about letting go the thing that he loves probably more than his wife, which is professional wrestling, then Swerve has to beat Bryan in Wembley in London. And I feel like a victory over Bryan, sending him into retirement, would be the icing on the cake that will help turn around this lackluster title reign into something, into definitely something more memorable. That's something that someone will always remember. This will be a talking point forever in terms of when people bring up Swerve's first world championship reign in AEW, they can say, oh, that's the guy that retired Bryan Danielson. I feel like that would benefit Swerve way more winning than it would him losing. All right, guys, that's my thoughts on the AEW All In London. Of course, it's going to be Sunday, August 25th, live from Wembley Stadium in London, England. We'll be back here in just a moment. Let's hear from some of our IE Sports Radio affiliates, and then we'll talk really quick about the shaping card for WWE's Bash in Berlin, which is the following week in Berlin, Germany. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned to the IE Wrestling Show. I'll be right back in just a moment.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Galise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Galise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? Thank you for sticking around for the IE Wrestling Show. We just talked about AEW's All In London, which takes place next weekend, of course. And we talked a little bit about, NXT with Joe Hendry becoming the number one contender to the NXT Championship. And he will challenge All Ego Ethan Page on September 1st at NXT No Mercy. But before we get to that, there's one more stop on the way before NXT and a stop after AEW All In London. It'll be WWE's Bash in Berlin, coming to you live from, what's here on my notes? Coming to you live from the Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany. It'll be the first ever pay-per-view and live streaming event ever from the WWE to be held in the country of Germany. And these are the matches now. It's taking shape. It's looking like a pretty strong card so far. Only 4 matches. I don't know if Trips and crew are going to add 1 or 2 more matches, but right now we got 4 matches on the pay-per-view, officially placed on the pay-per-view. This past Monday night, it was made official by the man right here who I'm representing right here with my T-shirt, CM Punk, the best in the world, made the challenge. Drew McIntyre accepted. It will be in Berlin, a strap match. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. They will be tethered together by a leather strap. One man will have a strap around his wrist. The other will have a strap, the other half of the strap on his other wrist. And these guys will be beating the shit out of each other with a leather strap to the fact, you have to be able to pin or submit your opponent, but you're going to be tethered together. There's no escape. There's no running away. You guys will be connected together, and there has to be a winner. And that's going to be one of the definite highlights, one of the main event matches for Bash in Berlin. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match in Berlin, Germany. Next match on the card is a mixed tag team match. The Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, will take on the Judgment Day, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. Dirty Dom and Liv got the upper hand on the Terror Twins this past Monday night on Raw. But you got to believe that Damian and Rhea are going to be coming for them and the rest of the Judgment Day next week on Raw, leading into Bash in Berlin. It's so personal. This match is so personal. Dirty Dom turning his back on Leah. I'm putting their 2 names together. On Rhea, breaking her heart, siding with Liv Morgan, just flaunting it in her face, letting Rhea know that, you made me call you mommy. I'm a grown man. I'm with this woman who calls me daddy now, and yada, yada. She lets me eat all the tendies I want. She lets me play video games whenever I want, And it's so funny to see. But, man, Dom is one of the biggest heels in the WWE today, man. It's just genuine heat. Who would have known that the little kid that Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul, and Rey Mysterio were fighting for custody over in 2005 at SummerSlam in a ladder match, no less, this cute little kid with a bleached blonde hair would turn out to be such a piece of shit in his adult years, and just one of the most entertaining pieces of shit in professional wrestling today. It's so crazy to see that, man. Just, wow. I feel freaking old saying that. You know what I mean? I was 18 when that match took place, and I'm 37 now. Fuck, I'm old. Anyway, Next match on the card is for the undisputed WWE Championship. That's right. It'll be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Whoa! Defending the undisputed WWE Championship against the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. It's a babyface versus babyface match. Cody Rhodes opened the challenge to Kevin Owens, said, "You've had my back for so long. You've been there for me. You've helped me fight this bloodline BS that we keep going through. And you deserve it, man. You deserve to be rewarded for all the times you've had my back. And I've had yours. I want to give you this." And Kevin, I give Kevin credit for his quick on his feet promo skills, saying I've lost more matches than I've won. I don't deserve it. That's not how this should go. Just because me and you are buddies and you're the champion, this is how it shouldn't be. But Cody's like, whatever. I'm ignoring what you just said. I'm giving you a title match anyway, and it's official. It's going to happen at Bash in Berlin. I think these guys are going to have a fantastic match with each other. I don't see Cody losing the title in Berlin. I definitely see Cody walking out of Berlin with the championship because I feel like we're going to get Cody and Randy at WrestleMania in Vegas. That's just my opinion. But, I mean, who knows? Plans could change. They always do. But I think these guys are going to have a damn good match for the undisputed WWE title in Berlin. This one I'm really looking forward to. And I feel like since this is his first title defense and we're going to be we're not in his home country, but definitely in that same area, where he grew up and made a name for himself in professional wrestling. It'll be the first title defense for the new World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther defends the World Heavyweight Championship against the Viper, Randy Orton. If Orton wins the championship, he will be transferred to Raw, and Gunther will be transferred to SmackDown in his place. Gunther and Randy, this rematch is definitely a long time coming, especially with the kind of shady finish of their last encounter where Gunther won the King of the Ring tournament against Randy to become champion, to at least get the opportunity to become champion, which he did at SummerSlam. So it makes sense story-wise that these guys would have a rematch once Gunther became champion. And I'm glad to see that we're getting it in Berlin. Gunther's going to be walking into Berlin. He's definitely going to be over there. I feel like Gunther, even though he's Austrian-born, that German crowd is going to be all behind Gunther. I mean, I'm sure Randy will still get a fairly great reception because he's a fucking legend. He's Randy Orton. But I feel like it's going to be definitely split 50-50 down the middle for that crowd in the Uber Arena when this match starts between Gunther and Randy Orton. If you loved their match at King of the Ring like I did, I feel like this match, hopefully it lives up to the hype and they have another fucking banger of a match in Berlin. Well, that's all I really got for you guys today, man. I really thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for all the crowd and fans that tuned in, and my family and friends that tuned in live on my Facebook stream of the show. Thank you if you tuned in live watching on X or on YouTube. I really appreciate it, guys. Please do yourself a favor and follow me on X and on TikTok at IE Wrestling Show right there. That's the banner right there. Where? Oh, God, right here. Oh, damn, my finger. There we go. Boom, right there. Follow me on the X and on TikTok at IE Wrestling Show. And please do yourself a favor and follow IE Sports Radio on all social media platforms, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at IE Sports Radio. Check out, all of our podcasts are available on IE Sports Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. All these named down below. There's so many, I can't even name them all right now. Check out our official website, of course, iesportsradio.com. That's iesportsradio.com. And again, if you want to buy yourself an official IE Sports Radio t-shirt like the one I'm showing you right here with our official IE Sports Radio logo and our catchphrase, your direct feed for all that is sports, go to iesportsradio.com/shop and buy yourself an awesome freaking t-shirt. Show your love for IE Sports Radio and what we do. Throw some shekels our way to keep the lights on, guys. And again, check out planetjerky.net for your awesome premium brisket beef jerky needs, and Seal the Deal wax seals for all your wax seal needs, of course. Guys, Thank you once again, for tuning in to the IE Wrestling Show. I will see you again next week, live, right here. Same SoCal Saint time, same SoCal Saint channel. All right, guys, take care. Stay safe, stay blessed. Deuces.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.